Welcome, race fans. We're Speed Zone TV tonight. I'm Robert Warrens, bringing you Roughneck Racing's Wagner's Welding Truck Series. Race number 4 tonight at Daytona International Speedway. We'll be doing 60 laps of down and dirty high-speed racing, all live for you tonight. It's going to be a great show. I hope you guys are ready to lock in and be thrilled with what these drivers are going to be packing. Super Speedway racing, very different than where we've been so far this year. We started off the season at Atlanta Motor Speedway, off to Bristol, race number 2, Chicagoland, race number 3, and now we're at Daytona. So you're going to see different skill sets from different drivers tonight. So I'm Robert Warrens, Speed Zone TV, here for Wagner's Welding Truck Series. And we're about to go under green. These drivers are getting off the pit road and going down to meet the pace truck. Looking at our grid tonight, we got Hennings on the pole with Percelia on the outside pole, Bylan 3rd, Hurst 4th, BB 5th, Copperthorne 6th, Barker 7th, Presley 8th, Richardson 9th, Richards 10th, Aguilar 11th, Fairman 11th, Hunter 13th, Isgrig 14th, and I think it's going to get interesting here. We got 24 drivers in the grid, so we'll roll through the rest of the field later on because we're getting suited up for some action here, and I think it's going to be an interesting tell. We got Dale Adamson currently in the points lead with about an 11 points lead over everyone right now. And, Super Speedway racing is very, very different. And I think you're going to be very amazed at what we see tonight as far as performance for these drivers. So season number 6 here for Roughneck and Wagner's Welding Truck Series. What we've seen so far this season is some great competitive racing, but also respectful and clean. So I'm expecting that same kind of caliber of racing tonight. And, as you guys are watching and paying attention, you're going to notice that too. Just a second while these paints adjusted load up. We'll be going under the lights tonight at Daytona International Speedway. And, you're going to see some great camera angles, hopefully some great commentating, and just great racing in general. Lights are off on the pace truck, and I don't really have any predictions right now. Super Speedway racing is Super Speedway racing essentially, and I think it's really hard to call out somebody here for Speed Zone to say like who's going to be in the hot seat tonight. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what's going on. So we'll be switching our stuff around tonight as far as like our tickers. So right now we got the ticker rolling across the top for you to see some race stats and positions. We'll switch it over to the tower, and you'll see some other things pop up. So make sure that you're taking the time to share the broadcast out, get us some views out there, and obviously cheer on your favorite driver when you can. So 24 cars in the field tonight. I'm hoping to see not too many cautions and a lot of door-by-door racing. Looking at the pit window tonight, these drivers are probably going to come in around 20-ish laps or so and fuel up. I'm not sure what the tire strategy is going to look like. But, typically for Super Speedway racing, you're going to want to maybe just bolt on 2 tires and go. You don't need tires here. Tire degradation is not a thing. Track position, clean entry to the pits, clean pit stops, and clean re-entry on the track. Pace car is ducking in here, and we're getting to going. Gonna see how Hennings fires off with Percelia on the outside. Great start there. Field nice and clean as they go down into turn one. The lights at Daytona here. Down the backstretch. 2x2. And they're going to be completing the first lap here. Awesome job by these drivers. Nice and clean the first lap out. Roughneck Racing here, Wagoner's Welding Truck Series, getting it done. Hennings out in front with Pylan in P2, BB in third. A little bit of shuffling, but you know, bumper to bumper right now. Pop around to some of these drivers. See if we've noticed any new paints or what's going on. On board with Greg right now. Making it work as they shoot down the backstretch. Currently, Greg is sitting in the 10th position, bouncing around, shuffling. Taking a look at Copperthorne now. Rocking that 98 machine. Nice tight racing. Lap number 4 underway. Not too much to see right now as far as action on the track, as these drivers are all gridded up. Henning still in the lead, but you can see that 3 machine getting a little help. I believe that's hers in the flex seal. Trying to clear low, not able to do so. Shuffling as they come down the front stretch. First looking for some help on the outside. If these drivers are able to stack up and work together, you're going to see that outside line be able to push and clear the inside line, but it's going to take some focus from all these drivers to line up and make that draft work. So far this season, we've had 2 winners. Dale Adamson clinching the first 2 races at Atlanta and then Bristol. And then Morton clinching last week's race at Chicagoland with just an epic battle. Tonight we're seeing Hennings up front here. He's done quite well, and you know, last time he had some nice camera time to you know, debut on Speed Zone TV, and you know, very interesting the mix of drivers, because now through the races we've seen various drivers mark their way up front, make themselves known predominantly at Roughneck in this Wagoner's Welding Truck Series. Yeah, Hennings did finish P2 last week, so he's going to definitely be one to watch. Seven laps in the books as these drivers chase down into turn number 1. As far as lap times right now, the whole field is sitting around 47 seconds a lap. You know, plus or minus a couple tenths, 47 threes, 47 fours. And as long as they're stacked up and drafting, you're not really going to see much speed difference. Very patient for all these drivers right now, as you know, they're just waiting their time essentially. 2x2. I don't know how many rows that is. It looks like there's 10 rows of cars that are just 2x2. Like we got somebody attempting to go 3 wide on the outside there, just looking, not doing anything. That'll be the 27 machine of Hunter, just looking wide in that hell yeah black truck. Take a look at the starter cam here. Great view, shuffling. Racing down into turn 1. Down the backstretch. Being very patient. Great action for you guys here. Cameraman is on the sauce tonight, flicking around, giving you some great angles of everything that's going on the track. Still locked 2x2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, 16 cars, 2x2, with a string on the bottom side, just in single file here. Drivers aren't really looking to mix it up too crazy right now. Take a look at different views here. Looks like Fairman gets a little wide and shuffles. Outside line is still struggling to mount a charge on that inside line. You know, right now in this part of the race, it's just trying to buy some time, and the super speedway racing is very different in its nature, where you're going to want to wait until the final, 5 laps or 10 laps to start making your moves, your charge to the front, and not risk any damage, and make sure you get pit stalls clean and whatnot. So there's lots and lots of time here. Take a look at some of the cars in the field that we didn't cover off in the grid. So I'll just bounce around a few, and a shout out to these drivers making it possible for you to watch at home tonight for the Wagoner's Welding Truck Series, race number 4 at Daytona International Speedway. Speed Zone TV bringing you the action tonight. I'm Robert Warrens. First truck we're looking at here is Hennings in that 74 machine. Getting a nice little push in behind from that 29 truck of Island. On the outside of him there, you'll see that 3 machine of Hurst. Sitting on that 83 truck of BB right now. On the outside of BB, you're going to see that 99 Canadian Tire machine of Fairman. Now on to the Brewers Banquet machine, the 48 of Percelia. Sorry brother, we'll have to work on the enunciation of that one, with Hunter on its outside in the Hell Yeah truck. Next row back there, we skipped one. We'll go back up there. Is Greg in the 40 machine, powered by Wagner's Welding. Looking at the 01 of Williams. As these guys pan around. Presley is the next one we're going to take a look at here in the 44 machine of All Seeing. Apparently it's an all-seeing Chevy with Ghost Energy on it as well. Tim Richardson tucked up on the outside and in that 2 truck with Ruff Neck Racing on the rear quarters, and we skipped him. We'll go back there for a second. Matt Barker in the Wagner Welding 96. Benjamin Richards in that 56 machine. We saw him last week a few times when he was mounting the charge up front at Chicagoland. Taking a look at the 70 truck of Schweitzer. Ahmet T. Breastmaster V-Speed. Great looking vehicle right there. Looking at Tyler Manning in the K9 Brass? Question mark. Up 2 positions tonight. Looks like Tyler's just buying his time. Taking a look at the 66, the Moza powered. Driving that machine is Feidler. Tony Richards, 52 truck here. DRX on the tail. Great chrome paint on that machine. And our current points leader in that 46 truck. One Love. Bob Marley right there. Dale Adamson. Repping a fresh paint tonight. I don't think we saw that one last week. And then looking a little bit further back, we have Aguilar in the field. There's no way to Dinas. Vandenberg is off pace, not sure what happened to him, but he's going to need a caution. Get back up with the field. And currently off track is Kane Bell. So we're going to roll back up here with our leaders. But we're panning around. See that Hennings and Hurst are still leading the charge with Island and Fairman in behind, with Beebe and Hunter in the third row. 18 laps down. Excellent patience by these drivers just to chill out and let the race come to them. Take a look at Fairman's perspective as he's pushing Hurst. On board with Fairman right now. Cockpit view, this is what you would see if you were pushing the outside line. He's doing a great job of staying up tight and close. We'll move a little bit further back on the inside line with Beebe. Hear him feathering the throttle ever so slightly. Want to maintain a safe gap, but not too much where that outside line can start to creep down and shuffle you back. On board with Williams now, currently in the 10th spot, up 6 positions tonight. You can just see from this perspective as you move further back in the field. If something happens up front, then, you know, there's not a lot of time to react. Leaders are coming up on a lap car. The 70 machine of Mamati respectfully dips below the yellow line not to disrupt the leaders. 20 laps down. Well, not 20 yet, but nearing the completion of 20, on to 21. These drivers have just maintained 2x2x2 action. Season number 6 here for Roughneck Racing, Wagoner's Welding Truck Series. Daytona International Speedway tonight, 60 laps. We're just ticking off the 20th. Waiting for pit stops to start to shuffle these drivers, and that's really going to start to spread out the field. And without a caution, you're going to start to see who's done their homework and practiced their pit strategies, who's, put their pit crews through fitness programs, because it's going to be the difference here. A half second on pit road with no drafting partner when you come out is going to be the detriment of your race. Just give you a perspective on separation. These drivers are all within a blanket. 16 drivers all within 1.3 seconds of each other. And, it's crazy to think about it. You can see that Fairman is getting pushed on the outside, but that 48 machine, as Hurst has elected to drop in line in behind Hennings, with Isgrig in behind 48. And the 01 machine of Williams is starting to tuck up and charge. Oh, contact. 48 machine. Caution is out. We're going to try to get that for you guys. Very unfortunate. That's going to help drivers stack up the field and get sorted out here. Cameraman's going crazy looking for the action. What happened? We're going to be bringing it to you live here, Speed Zone TV, in a second. Just a recap of what's going on. Not really sure, but it looked like a lap car had fallen into the field. Hop on board here where I thought I saw it happen. Unfortunate damage with that 48 machine. Let's back up the camera a little bit here. And we'll take a look at a slight different angle. 48 machine, the 99 machine tags the wall. 48 nowhere to go, so nothing to do with the lap car. 48 comes down with obviously no intention, down on the 3 machine of Hurst. And it looks like the rest of the field is able to squeak on through. Doesn't look like 48 is gonna tag the wall here. Ooh, that's some tough contact with that inside pit wall. I'll just back it up one more time while we're under caution. See if we can see anything else. That was not cool for that to happen for these guys. Take a little further back look. Just see what's going on back here. This is a perspective from Presley machine 44. You can see that they're coming up on that lap car, and Fairman drifts up to the wall just a little bit. 48 machine for Celia tags the back of him, and the rest of the drivers here from this perspective are able to make it through clean. Doesn't look like there's any big checkups. Unfortunate damage for that 48 machine, and unfortunate contact with Hurst, but considering the size of the field, that was really kind of like a best case scenario here. Not too much damage, just a little bit of carnage. Back to some live action here. These drivers have just cycled through the pits. Waiting for the update here to happen, but we've got a couple cars that are a lap down that are waiting for the drive-through passing the pace truck. So we're currently focusing on our leader, and we're waiting. I think Aguiar and Mama T are trying to squeak by the pace truck here, top up for some fuel as we go back to green flag racing shortly. So race number 4 tonight for the Wagoner's Welding Truck Series. Big shout out to Wagoner's Welding, making it possible for Roughneck Racing to be here tonight. They're the league sponsor. We're going to just take a second here. We're going to roll their ad.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road. Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding.
Those lap cars have rolled through to regain their lap and join the tail end of the field. Lights are off on the pace truck, and drivers are getting ready to rock and roll as they're going to go green for lap 26. Nearing halfway to the race, you've seen Hennings and Pylon up front pretty much just working with each other and not doing anything crazy. Isgrigg and Williams have been up front, as well as BB and Copperthorne. Barker and Richardson a little bit further back, but it looks like they're shuffling up within the top 10. Hunter's fallen back, and it looks like perhaps pit times have wavered that a little bit. Let's take a look at pit stop times here. Of course, it's just a little too far on the screen. You can't see the time just yet, but we'll have to come back to it and take a look. Pace truck is ducking in. Drivers are going to tighten their belts, check their mirrors. Green flag is out. Hennings does a great job of starting on the outside. Pylon is going to maybe look to tuck down low pretty quick. He's successful at doing it. In front of Isgrigg there in the 83 machine, a BB. 01 on the outside. Williams need a little bit of help there, but there's 6 trucks on the outside. 01, 98 of Copperthorne. Drivers are back at it again. We're going to hope to see some clean racing as we saw for the first 26 laps. I think just an unfortunate kind of chain of events there. Looks like we're having a little connectivity issue for the 01 machine as he's bouncing in and out. Driver's going to have to be mindful of that. It's pretty easy to get like a neck coating off a blinking truck here. He's not blinking very well. Wonder if race control is going to be calling him out to pull it off to the side, because there's not going to be a lot of confidence to push that truck down and mount a charge on the outside line. We've seen it all night so far. Hennings and Pylon working together. Isgrigg, BB, Barker, haven't seen him up in the top 5 tonight, but he's just creeping. sound of the trucks as they roll by. Here they come. Turn 3. Going to 4. The drone cam doing its thing. Island is just locked in on Hennings. And it looks like that 01 machine of Williams has fallen to the back. But we're not seeing the outside line form right now. We're seeing nice single file racing. I don't know if it's nice or interesting for you guys at home, but you know, this is really just showing the respect that these drivers have for one another and looking at long-term strategy of where am I going to finish tonight? How am I going to settle down in the points? And, you know, how can I start to seal the deal on the championship, close in on Adamson, our current points leader? Currently, Hennings is sitting second in points with 11 points back. We got Pyland, who's in third. Barker in fourth. Love, I haven't seen his name in the field tonight. Tied in fifth with Hurst. So that'll round out our top 5 in points. Pretty crazy based on what's going on tonight. Take a look at some of these other drivers in the field. Give you some perspective of what's going on. Yellow flag is out. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. Take a look here, but it looks like our lead pack is good, but I'm not seeing where. Let's take a look from our Speed Zone TV replay cam. Gonna click quarter speed here. I'm not sure where it's gonna take us other than the yellow flag coming out. Look like it's there. Oh, found it. 10 machine. Greg's. Wait. Roll it back here and see if we can figure out what happened. Oh. Oh. Here we are. Word with Speicher. Seeing a bump up here. Not sure who it is. Get a better angle of it. Like we're getting a bump here. That's Adamson shooting off the track. It looks like the 27 machine gives him a little tag. Gets him a little sideways. He shoots off the track. As they're checking up, the 10 machine gets tagged. It's looking like it's hard to see from this angle. By the 77 machine. Yeah, crazy damage there. Go back to live action here. And, you know, interesting to see that, you know, the unfortunate, I guess, contact between, I believe it was 27 machine of Hunter and Adamson, which created some carnage for 10 machine of Speicher. New leader right now. It's like Behrman has taken the temporary crown. Take a look at Reeling. I don't think we called him out tonight. He must have been tagged a lap down earlier. And we didn't call him out, but he's in the McDonald Ford here. 11 machine. Nice paint scheme on that truck. Drivers are going to get ready to go 2 by 2. Stack them up. Over halfway through the race now. You're going to start to see it get a little bit more racy, a little bit more dicey. A little bit more sexy for you guys at home tuning in. Take a look at our blimp cam. It's for funsies. Showing you how great and massive this facility is and the racing that it brings. Daytona International Speedway, one of the most iconic raceways in the world. Lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to be going green this time by. Behrman in the hot seat on the pole. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers work together. You saw Hennings and Pilot stick together and race in tandem pretty much the whole race. For whatever reason, Hennings has elected to pit and drop further back in the field. It'll be interesting to see this restart here. We haven't seen the 11 machine up all night. Barker's been making a charge. But Fairman's up 11 positions tonight. Great job by him. Just being patient. Pace truck is off. Great start by Fairman with Barker in behind and BB in behind Barker. The battle box there, the battle for first position as those numbers start to load up. One machine of Williams is back on the outside, looks to have stabilized his presence in the field. Might be some reservations on working with that driver right now. We haven't seen him tonight. Fairman doing a good job of maintaining the bottom line with Barker in behind. Hennings making his way back up to the field. It looks like the two dance partners are working back to tango, Hennings and Pilot. Currently sitting in 6th and 7th. In front of Hennings there in that 44 machine is Presley. And 98, you can see just on the left-hand side of your screen is Copperthorn. Haven't spent much time on him tonight. Aguiar in his Adidas truck with Isgrig in front and Hunter behind. Single file for everyone. 25 laps to go, fans. For Speed Zone TV, bringing you the live action. I'm Robert Warrens for the Roughneck Racing's Wagner's Welding Truck Series. Oh, and just live right in front of you. I'm talking away. We got a little carnage that happened. It looks like Richards went for a dipsy doodle. So let's take a look at our Speed Zone TV instant replay and see what we got for you guys. Back that up just a slight bit here. Not really sure what happened. It's looking like we have some contact with the 48 machine. Not having any luck tonight. Our friend Jake. Gotta grab this different camera here. 66, they're 3 wide. And not really sure 66 here is aware that they're 3 wide or not. But we'll just back it up one more time. 66 drifts up a little bit from the yellow line and looks like tagging the left rear quarter of the 48 machine. 48 machine here is looking like he might almost get airborne. Tags the wall into the 3 machine of Hurst. Let's back that up. Like, there was some heavy damage there. We got some time under this caution, so let's see what happens here. Quarter speed time. See that Hurst has absolutely nowhere to go. 52 tags Hurst. Contact with the 10 truck as well. Wow. And just unfortunate carnage for those drivers. Pop back to some live action. See what's going on. Drivers are electing to pit right now. It's going to be the battle off pit lane. We'll have to see what happens next here. I'm not sure if the 48's going to be able to fix that truck and get it back out. Crazy, 22 laps to go. It didn't look like anything was going to happen. These drivers have been settled in the whole race. But, you know, once you're in that roll cage, that metal asylum, anything can happen. Belts get tight, you know, you're gasping for air, you're smelling race fumes, and you just want to go. And you know what? Sometimes there's nowhere to go. Waiting for the updates to occur here so we can see who's going to be our current leader. Looks like Hennings is the current leader. I don't think Hennings had to pit. Showing you some pit stop details there. Rolling through them. Looking at the times, Hennings 8.7. Speicher 7.3. Adamson showing 63 seconds. Likely fixing damage. Not electing to use a fast repair. 6.4 for Barker. 9.4 for Pylon. 9.4 for Copperthorn. So it's looking to me like some drivers elected to bolt on tires and make the most of everything that they can. You can see the total pit stop time is a little bit longer. Pit stop laps here, they're all showing 31:32. Can't always trust this data. You know, you got to watch these guys when you're providing these stats to you. Never know what's going to go on. But very interesting to see Adamson up front tonight. We haven't seen him all race, and then all of a sudden, bang, there he is in the hot seat. Lights are off, 21 laps to go. Wagoner's Welding Truck Series, race number 4, Daytona International Speedway. Roughneck Racing. This league's been bringing you some action for 4 weeks now, and you know, Speed Zone TV's been happy to cover it. But excited to see how this one winds down. Very, very different racing tonight. And just looking at some of the lap times, is that the best lap time here is looking like it's been 46.4 seconds. Rip roaring. There's a couple drivers with that blistering lap speed, but it looks like the average is around 47 seconds. So when you're getting a good push and a good draft, those drivers are cranking out sub 47-second laps. Pace truck is in. Green flag is out. Hennings fires off excellently. Adamson in tow. Island in third on the bottom side. A little bit further back, giving you some perspective of the depth of the field. Currently showing 20 trucks in the race right now. Getting up to speed. Coming down the front stretch in turn 1. Oh, we got somebody flying off the track there. Looking like it might be the 27 machine of Hunter. Oh, looks like I was mistaken. We have somebody blinking out on the high side there. I think that's the 10 truck. Didn't get the off track flag. Back up with our lead pack here. Drivers should have enough fuel to make it the whole way, so as these laps start to wind down, you're going to see a lot more action. I think you'll see a little bit more risky moves happen. Drivers are going to be like, it's time to go. It's time to get it done. Coming down to click down another lap. One is dropping out of the draft below the yellow line. Not sure why. Not having any communications about it. We'll have to see what happens here. Adamson giving Hennings a great push with Pilot and Fairman in behind Adamson. And that 44 machine of Presley on the outside row. We got the 70 truck of Mama T with Aguilar and Barker and Copperthorn, and the 56 machine of Richards on the outside. It's looking to get spicy here at Daytona International Speedway for race number 4 at the Wagoner's Welding Truck Series. 16 laps to go. This is what we've been waiting for. Super Speedway racing is a very different style of racing where, you know, it's not about tire management. It's more about being at the right spot at the right time and making your moves calculated. Would have liked to see some green flag stops tonight and watch the field get spread out, but that's not going to be the case here tonight with 16 laps to go. Wondering if the 08 machine and 96 machine are going to be able to push the 70 machine on the outside. Oh, Adamson dips below the yellow line there, gets a little squirrelay. And they're able to gather it up and not do anything crazy. Going through turns 1 and 2 right now. We're going to join them on the backstretch. Down into turn 3. Rounding out 4. Down the front stretch. Laps to go. Great draw by these drivers. You can see the 2x2 pack here. Seeing 7 to 8 rows just stacked up, nowhere to go. Henning drifts up a little bit high. Looking to pull the outside line a little bit. Aguilar is doing a great job of pushing Mama T. Barker as well with Copperthorne in behind. Those drivers are going to have to work a little bit harder together to clear that inside row. The bottom line is much tighter packed than the outside line. Down the backstretch. Tight racing up front. Laps are ticking down. Just not a lot of room to move around and make the moves as these are winding down. Not sure if we're going to start to see some 3 wide action soon. Might be too soon to put yourself in that position where you're like, I want to risk it for the biscuit. I want to risk it all. For Hennings and Hyland to gain points on the championship here, they're going to have to somehow get Adamson out of there. Down into turn 1 once again. Still 2x2x2. We're just waiting for something to happen here. We're going to have to keep our eyes peeled, keep watching. 10 laps to go. It's going to be time to start making your move. We saw BB in the 83 machine up front most of the race. Is he going to be one of those ones that's going to be mounting a charge? We also saw the 40 machine of Isgrig. Oh, carnage right in front of us. Big one. That's crazy. Oh, more carnage. 66 and the 27 get together. We're gonna back that up here. Talking about strategy, I don't even want to click the replay button. And it happened right in front of us. Take a look here. Looks like to me, hard to call it. Like they're 3 wide, and then there's just a little tag of contact there, a little tight on the outside of the 27. So the 98 machine of Copperthorn. Back that up here. Give a better perspective. Going on, 98 machine is on the outside of Isgrig. 40. Isgrig is making the charge here. Tags the inside of the 98 of Copperthorn. Gets turned down into the 66 machine. 27 got nowhere to go. Gets a little help by BB. 56 of Richards. Heavy wall contact. And that 66 machine of Feidler is just flying. Heavy damage for him. Unfortunate contact. You know, winding down. This is just really the type of racing that occurs at super speedways. So you're going to see some pit strategies, people popping off. So we're back here live-ish in our field here. Going that, there we go. Drivers won't need to pit here. Just want to change this. 8 laps to go. We're under caution. We do have GWCs set up. You know what they say, cautions breed cautions. And I don't like to see it here. I wanted this to finish out strong, finish out clean. But unfortunately, that is not going to be the case tonight. We've got some damaged trucks as we're under caution. One more time. Take a second to give a shout out to Wagoner's Welding, sponsoring the Roughneck Racing Series, season number 6 here. We're at race number 4 at Daytona International Speedway. Just want to give a shout out to them that make it possible for you to be viewing tonight. And we're going to take a second to just roll the commercial from Wagoner's Welding and share some love.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road. Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Seven laps to go. These drivers are stacking up 2 by 2 one more time. That's the 4th caution we've saw tonight. Hennings has been up front tonight. Majority of the race. looking to take home a dub. He hasn't been victorious. He's been on the podium in that 74 machine. 60 laps under the lights tonight at Daytona International Speedway. 7 to go. Anything can happen now. Not sure if we're going to see somebody from the back half of the field come and start to make their charge. Check your mirrors, wiggle your steering wheels. And if you're at home watching right now, you had your time to get your popcorn, refresh your beverage, but we're about to go back green. Speed Zone TV tonight bringing you the action for Roughneck Racing's Wagoner's Welding Truck Series, race number 4. 7 laps to go, pace cars ducking in. Mama T outside on Hennings. Green is out. Great start by Mama T on the outside. It's hard to get that outside rolling. Pylon is pushing the heck. Mama T there. Hennings, Fairman, Aguilar, Barker on the bottom. 70 and 29 making the outside work. A big push on the outside. Half a truck, 3/4 a truck, not quite enough to clear that bottom row. We need to get that 70 truck down, but there's not enough help on the outside to make it possible. The 2 machine of Richardson is coming up to help that outside line. 5 laps to go, 2 by 2. 6 rows of trucks. Great battle here under the lights of Daytona International Speedway. A little bit of side drafting. Taking a look on board right now of Hennings. Bounce back on Richardson on the outside line here. Doing a great job of managing the throttle. Keeping the lap pedal down but maintaining a healthy gap, and there's a little bit of feathering as that truck starts to pull up in the draft. Give you a little bit different perspective from the roll bar sitting further back in that seat. Shuffling, the bottom line checks up right there. Just wrong button. And Barker had to back off of Aguilar. We got Mama T on the outside with Pylon, Richardson, and the 44 machine of Presley. He's been up front quite often this night. That outside line really needs to start to work together to clear the inside row. It looks like the outside line might have a good run here on the exit of 2. Little love there from the 29 on the 70. Tappy tap. T's clear to drop. Elects to stay on the outside. 3 laps to go. Just remember, once we take that white flag, the race becomes official. It locks down. All the action tonight, bringing you at Speed Zone TV for Roughneck Racing's Wagoner's Welding Truck Series, race number 4 at Daytona International Speedway. 2 laps to go of our 60, and these drivers are about to get hungry and show you what you've been waiting for all night long. Yeah, that's a song reference. Anything can happen here. We're going to be watching. I don't know where to tell the cameraman to go, but it looks like three wide. Banging on the outside Adamson. That's the 78 machine of Manning. Making it work. Final lap. Take a look at our leader here. Hennings up front all night. Three wide down the backstretch. She's gonna get a spicy. We have carnage there. It looks like Adamson got ducked off. We got tons of carnage in behind us there. Mama T gets turned into Pylon. Hennings. Fairman. Barker. 1, 2, 3. Aguilar on the outside with Richardson on the bottom. Hunter in behind. Hennings and Fairman and Barker are going to round out the top three. Great race for them. We're going to have to go back and take a look at what the heck happened in behind. Too much was going on. And, you know, just really to call it out because, dang, a lot happened there just in the short amount of time. Let's take a look at Speed Zone TV's instant replay here. We're on board with Adamson, I believe. We're going to just take a look at the chase cam on Adamson to get his perspective. So, see there's some contact on BB as he's not square right now. Just going to let it roll here for you guys at home to take a look at what the deuce happened. Three wide. BB comes up. Tags the 44 machine down into Adamson. Crazy. And then let's take a look where BB goes after this. Our lead pack there. Doing a good job of working, but they're three wide with Pylon on the outside. 78 machine gets a little squirrely. Mama T does come up into Pylon, just drifts up the track there. 56 of Richards looks like coming down. Let's just back it up one more time. There's too much going on. One more time. So up front on your screen, you see, I don't know if Mama T got bumped there or just drifted up, but the 83 holds his line respectfully on the bottom, tags the 56. The 01 of Williams got nowhere to go. Copperthorne's got nowhere to go into the back of Pylon. BB has managed to square away and not do too bad, but we'll keep our camera here as we come up to the finish line out of turn 4. See if any other crazy stuff happens. Dang, what a crazy finish for you guys at home. And we'll just speed it up a little bit. That's going to be our finish tonight. Crazy, crazy finish. Our winner tonight, Brian Hennings. Getting it done tonight. So you saw him before. And, you know, very interesting for him tonight. P2 last week. Great performance by him. Rounding out our top 3 was Fairman and Barker. Let's see who we've got on deck for some interviews. And they're all waiting. Just all hungry and waiting. So we're going to take our first person here, Barker, and that 96 machine. What's up, Mr. Matt Barker? Congratulations on your P3 tonight. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good.
So
yeah, what a race! Wow.
Yeah, I was, you know, I'm here watching, trying to call it, and there was a lot of carnage, you know, the last lap. But, you know, I watched, you know, you pretty much the whole race, and you started further back, and then you were, mounting your charge. What kind of strategy did you bring into tonight's race?
Just try to stay patient. That's the big key, and sometimes that is so hard to do. Just because of the close racing, and you know you got a fast car, but should you make the move too early? I just tried to keep the nerves down, stay calm, and I knew we had a good enough team. If we could find each other, we could march to the front. Um, Luckily, the cautions did fall out because fuel mileage was about to come into play there. So there about mid race, we was all discussing it, and we all got stretched out from each other. But
Yep.
through the end of the race, though, there at the end, I found a teammate in my rearview mirror. So yeah, if it wasn't for him, I'm not sure if I'd be sitting on this podium. Shout out to Tim for that.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw I saw you guys paired up, and when you guys connected on the outside line, I think Aguiar was in front of you guys. You with Pylon and I think Mama T. You guys did a good job of working together, and that outside line got clear a few times, um, but just didn't clear enough, I suppose. But you know, what would you have done differently in those last couple laps? Could you have done anything differently to seal the deal, get yourself the win tonight? Or are you really
um,
happy with where you
yeah,
were?
I I feel like I made um my last pit stop. I should have made maybe a lap earlier. Like with when Brian actually pitted, and me and Larry, I think, elected to stay out, and I think they might have been one other car that stayed out that round up front. That was all with Brian. And he was playing the fuel strategy. I know he went to go back in to top off, and it seemed to sort of work for him.
Yep.
So I kind of wish I would have played that strategy versus the one I did. Other than that, I think that's about the only thing I could have done because it seems like it was hard to pass tonight. It
Yeah.
was just a two groove track. Daytona, with these trucks, they move around a lot, so it is super hard to take them wide sometimes. Where Talladega, it's about three wide all the time.
Yeah.
So it does make it harder to pass here. And once you get in the back, it's a little hard to make unless you can find a teammate that you work well with. And I hate Johnny had some trouble tonight, but Jimmy, there at the end, he had a good car. I'm not sure what happened there, but definitely having Tim behind me, that's the difference sitting where I'm at tonight.
Yep. Well, shout out to Tim for giving you all the bumper love that you needed to get that P3. So, besides Tim, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to
Yeah,
before we send you on your way?
I'd like to give you guys a good shout out, for doing what you do for us in race control and RC. And broadcasting for us, and but as always, James Wagner's welding. That man, he does a lot for us. He loves this sport. He watches it every single night, every Monday and Wednesday when we're broadcasting, when we're racing. So big shout out to him, because if it wasn't for him, the 20, 30 of us that get in here each and every night wouldn't be able to, have these interviews, and then shout out, to fans and stuff. So big shout out to him for giving us the opportunity to do that. I'd like to shout out to to all the drivers. We're in our sixth season. A lot of these guys has been here since season one. And our leagues is just growing. So can't thank the drivers enough coming out each and every night. Putting on a show for.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like tonight, we saw a lot of respectful racing, and it really does speak volumes for Roughneck running the sixth season and fostering the community that you have here. I enjoy watching it, and I'm sure everyone watching the broadcast is enjoying the type of racing that they're seeing because you're seeing it now week in. This is the fourth race. You're seeing a mix of drivers that are able to get up front and make it happen. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, and then we've actually had two first time winners already. So
yeah, well, Morton
um,
did a great
and
job last week at Chicagoland, and now Hennings, great job here tonight because he was quite dominant. So definitely, from an admin perspective of the league, you guys should definitely be proud.
Yeah, we are with the caliber of drivers that we have and the respect level that each one of us have. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but like I say, it's shout out to all the drivers. Coming aboard, becoming family and working with each other. And that's what it's all about. And that's how you have fun.
Heck yeah, brother. Well, congratulations on your P3 tonight, Mr. Barker. I look forward to interviewing you again. And, before I kick you out, I think we're going to what, Phoenix next week?
I'm pretty sure. I think so. It's
Do you
I
like
don't
that?
know right off the top.
No,
Yeah.
it's
It's a tricky track. It
We're
it
going
can
to
be a tricky
Phoenix.
track. Yeah, it can be a tricky track. For sure. Tire wear is going to be an issue there. It's a fast paced track, but it can get narrow in a hurry.
Yeah,
So
100%.
it's gonna be tricky.
All right. Well, make sure you do your homework. And like I said, pleasure watching you race tonight. You were very strategic, made the right moves to get you where you were. And as you mentioned, perhaps if you just calibrated that pit strategy a little bit differently and topped up, you could have been right in that dub position. So hopefully next week when you're at Phoenix, you're just a little bit more dialed in to seal the deal. Because, from that perspective up in the booth here, seeing that type of racing just is good to see for everyone. Congratulations again, Mr. Barker.
Yeah, thank you, and you have a good night.
Yeah, you as well. All right, race fans. We'll be looking for P2 right now. Fairman. I'm not seeing Fairman available. Right, meow. Let me see if I can move him. I'll be able to. Try here. Larry Fairman, congratulations on your P2 tonight. How you doing?
No, not bad. You?
I stole you. I'm doing great. I stole you from a different room, so surprise. But I watched you all night. You had a great race. What did you see from your perspective that you want to share with the audience tonight?
Well, they just had a fast truck. Got lucky.
Yeah. Luck always helps at Daytona for sure. You were up front all night on the inside and the outside row, running, pretty much in the top 5. I guess one question I have for you is, what do you do in repping Canadian Tire?
Well, I am from Canada, so.
Oh, that's cool. Me too. Whereabouts are you from?
I don't know, Oshawa, Whitby area.
You got to be kidding me.
In Ontario.
Yeah. I'm actually in Bowmanville, Ontario. I grew up in Oshawa, so I don't know. We're pretty much neighbors.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm just actually in Greenbank, a little bit west of Port Perry.
Okay. Okay, cool. No, I actually I run at some of the local tracks here, in a modified. Oh, that's cool. It's always interesting. I've only seen a few actual people in the iRacing community represent a Canadian Tire logo and the Motorsport Park. So thanks for sharing that with me, Larry. That's cool. As far as your race tonight, do you think you could have done anything differently to seal the deal and get ahead of Hennings?
No, I honestly, I'll take a second any day.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you guys had a very respectful race tonight, and the carnage that kind of happened was a little bit further back in the field where there was like more of an accordion effect. But we're heading off into Phoenix next week. Do you like that track?
Yep, it's all right. I don't have quite as much luck there, but I don't mind it.
So as far as the season, go ahead, Larry.
Sorry, I know. I was just going to say I did say sorry. Leave a message to Pottles and say I'm sorry. I didn't even realize I caused that wreck when I was up front. I hit the wall and I didn't even feel anything else. I guess the guy behind me must have run into me.
Yeah, I think was it Hearst tagged you as you scuffed the wall a little bit and just created a little bit of a checkup. So
Yeah, and I didn't even know it.
yeah, it was pretty minimal contact, and it looks like when that occurred,
Yeah.
he pulled it off of you and just went across. So I can't remember if it was her, so I'll have to go back. But
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. We could look at
I
it
just
later. But it's good to be like honest and open about it. And currently right now you're sitting about tied for 9th in points. Do you think you're going to be able to make a championship run?
Well, I'll try to.
Well, congratulations, Larry, on your P2 tonight. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we say goodbye?
Just the boys for letting me race. It's a fun crew here, and I better say thanks to Canadian Tire.
That's awesome. It's been a pleasure watching you. Since the start of the season. For the 4 races that we've covered, you've had some great runs, Larry, and I hope to be, seeing you in victory lane pretty soon.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
have a good one.
Yeah, take care, Larry. Congratulations on your P2 tonight.
Thanks.
That was our P2 finisher, Larry Fairman. We'll be looking to interview our victor tonight. Dominating run at Chicagoland last week, but now he's getting it done tonight at Daytona International Speedway. Mr. Brian Headings, congratulations on your Daytona victory tonight. Congratulations, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, watching you last week, it was a pleasure. You had a great run last week, but Morton, snatched it away from his victory. What were you bringing in tonight? I watched you run up front. So, what was your strategy? What were you looking to do?
I usually like to stay at the front in super speedway races. I'd rather be kind of the cause of a caution, if you will, rather than playing dodgeball and avoiding it. And we just a lot of our people over at VRX, we do a lot of super speedway racing, and I've gotten into the money racing scene, which has been quite an eye opener and a hell of a lot different than what we had here tonight. This is kind of like a Sunday drive. I mean, I'm used to racing with eNASCAR pros and some very aggressive drivers. This was pretty tame, so wasn't too bad tonight.
I mean, everyone pretty much stayed 2 by 2, and
yeah,
nobody did really anything crazy. There was no really aggressive
No,
blocking or lane changes. So
I kept watching that top line, and they would eventually get up there. But there was a couple of times when even late at the end, Teresa maybe once or twice, and then I forget who it was. I think it was Hurst. But there were a couple of times where somebody could have dropped in front of me. I think at one point Hurst did. But yeah, for the most part, that top line just kept being all wiggly and not in line, and they would just keep dropping back. So I'm just like, all right, stay here at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, when they do get wiggly on the outside, like they're not strong enough to mount that draft to make a run.
Yep.
But like if the outside line, I was waiting for it too. If they were able to work together and tighten up, you can shuffle drivers on the outside pretty much every other lap.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, like I said, I'm used to a lot of much more aggressive driving. Doing the super speedway stuff with the money races and all the talent that goes with Malik Ray and those types.
Yep.
This was much more tame. So I was just riding, and kudos to Larry. He didn't pop his engine there at the end. That was really the only other thing that was potentially happening to anybody tonight, was just riding too close for too long and not paying attention to the engine temps. But that didn't happen, and so here I am sitting here talking to you.
Yeah, we're just here hanging out, two buddies talking, right? So
Right.
I'm just looking at the points right now. It looks like you've actually clinched the points lead over Adamson by a point. We're going
Yeah, he was pretty upset.
Yeah, that didn't look too
Well, he got
nice.
wrecked there at the end. I feel bad, but that probably didn't help him points wise, and that's probably why I surpassed him at the moment. So
Yeah, I mean, before tonight, you were 11 points back on him, and that's a big swing. But sucks for Adamson, but at the same time, it's super speedway racing. Stuff happens here, and it's very actually detrimental to like a points battle if you're on the wrong side of the coin toss for that. So
yep.
we're rolling into a series of short shorter tracks next, I believe, right? We're going to Phoenix, then
Yeah,
Iowa.
I don't mind Phoenix. I like Iowa. Don't mind Auto Club. That's okay there. Love Talladega. Nashville, not so much. Charlotte, probably do okay there. Never, oh, I shouldn't say never. I've only ran a few laps at North Wilkesboro, and yeah, I do like Kansas for the final. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we're almost nearing halfway through the season, right?
Yep.
So we've had a good kind of stretch of the first 4 races. Are you looking to mix it up and do anything different as we're going into the second half of the season?
No, just try and stay competitive. Keep on Adamson's tail, and hopefully beat him a few more times. Hopefully, just keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, congratulations on your win tonight. You had an excellent performance, and just like you said, you stayed up front all night, and your pit strategy I think paid off, where you offset the pit just by 1 lap, and
Yep.
were able to maintain track position. And really, the super speedway track position is paramount over just about everything, right? Like you can't bolt on tires and do anything here.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good night, so it was fun.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your win, Brian. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, you guys at Speed Zone, I'll definitely go back and take a look at this one and have fun watching the replay. Wagoners for putting this league on. It's been fun to be part of. Tim and Richardson and all them that are putting this league on. My teammates at VRX, any family and friends that might be watching, and my wife and daughter. Love you guys.
Heck yeah. Kudos to the family. That's always a respectable shout out. Brian, thank you for your time tonight. You're a P1 finisher, great racing, and I don't know if you pop bottles or a little champagne or maybe grape
Yep,
juice.
yep.
It doesn't really matter, right? Just go celebrate.
Yep.
Well deserved win tonight, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you as well. There you have it. The story himself, Mr. Brian Hennings, as he's crossing the line here for that victory tonight. We saw some great racing tonight for Roughneck Racing's Wagoner's Welding Truck Series race number 4. 60 laps were in the books. Quite a few lead changes, but Brian Hennings, his strategy paid off for him, and he was able to be the victor tonight. So, unfortunate for some of the other drivers in the field that got shuffled back at, that last kind of white flag incident. But, looking at some of the stats for tonight is that Hennings actually led, looking here, 50 laps of the 60. Fairman led 8. Not really seeing anyone else that was, dominant as those two. Hurst, unfortunate for him, he led a lap, but ultimately finishing 22nd tonight. Teresa Speicher, Mama T led a lap as well. Wasn't able to have the speed to clear the bottom side to clear that inside line. But just great racing up front. A lot of clean racing by the drivers at Roughneck Racing's Wagoner's Welding Truck Series tonight. Race number 4 is now in the books. You heard it from the drivers. Next week, we're going to Phoenix International Speedway. Personally, one of my favorite tracks. Very different corners than what we saw here tonight. Full out, flat out racing at a super speedway, but you're going to have to use the brake pedal when we go to Phoenix. And I think we're going to start to see a little different mix of drivers at Phoenix as well as Iowa Speedway, where tire management is going to be so important. It's very easy to burn off the rubber there. So we'll be going to Auto Club after that. And once again, moving to a different style of track. Auto Club does have a bit less tire wear than Phoenix and Iowa, but we'll be rounding out at Talladega next, where we'll be running some throwback paints. So that's going to be exciting to see as well. So just shout out to our finishers tonight. We'll roll through the field and recap some of that finishing for you. Is that looking at how everyone finished here is we had Hennings, our victor, who's coming to burn it down on our screen. Fairman in second, Barker third, Aguilar fourth, Richardson fifth, Hunter sixth, Manning seventh, BB eighth, Pylan ninth, Richards 10th, Isgrig 11th, Copperthorn 12th, Freeling 13th, Richards. Sorry, I lost my thought there. 14th, Bresley 15th, Feidler 16th, Mamati. Unfortunate for her that she's going to be rounding out 17th. Adamson, tough break for him. Carnage as well. Just on the the end of the show there. And then Levy, we saw some connection issues with him. Vandenberg, new driver returning tonight. Didn't have all the best of luck. Greg Speicher in the 10 machine. 21st. Hurst, tough break for him. Great run the previous few weeks. Finishing 22nd. The 48 machine of Priscilla in 23rd, and rounding at the field. Didn't see much action from him tonight. I don't know if he got out of the pit stall or if he had technical issues, but Kane Bell is also a new driver tonight. So shout out to our winner on the screen, Mr. Brian Hennings, doing a great performance for you guys at home. We're Speed Zone TV. I'm Robert Warrens, bringing you the action. Race number 4 in the books for Roughneck Racing's Wagoner's Welding Truck Series. Going to Phoenix International Speedway next week. Tune in next week, 7:30 p.m. EST for more live action. Happy to bring it to you. Make sure that you're sharing out the broadcast, throwing a like on it, and getting some views. And see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll be going to Phoenix. And shout out to Wagoner's Welding Truck Series that is sponsoring the Roughneck Series that's being brought to you today.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road. Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.